I hope you guys are all having a great weekend. In this video, we are going to be covering a few setups we are watching this week. All right, so getting things started, let's start with QQQ, and actually let's go into that weekly chart here. So you can see we come down, and really we set up the kind of a potential higher low on the weekly. That could also be a equal high that rolls over here, and I'll explain more of that within the hourly chart. And let me move this up here. So what we see here is we get this push up. We're trying to put in that higher low off of this low right here, so it'd be that higher low here. But what could also happen is this equal high up here that then rolls over and pushes down to the downside like this. So if we go into the daily, that's a pretty weak bar. Now, I want to note that we do have untested highs up here at 489.35 on QQQ, and that comes from a data spike, I believe, a week or so ago. But what ends up happening is we push barely above these prior highs, and then we slam this lower here. As for an individual candle basis on the daily chart, this looks weak and can see some continuation to the downside. Now, what I want to note is if we don't trade below this low, we could just be setting up a failed breakdown that could then do something, let me see, that then does something just like this back up into these highs like such. So using this area here on Monday as an influx. So if we're below prior day low, then eyeing shorts to the downside here. But if we are within this range right here, so if we're above this prior day low and we're above the opening print or the OP, then looking for longs then up to the upside back to this prior day open, which is right around 482.41. So that's going to be the main watch here. I do think we can see a potential movement to the upside here as long as we hold this prior day low. AMD, one of the stronger names, and if you go out here to the weekly, this is trying to act right here. This is trying to act as a potential higher low. So if you go into the weekly chart, yes, downtrend, now we're trying to come down here. Yes, this is a lower high, but this is trying to act as a potential higher low for a reclaim back up into this area up here. So that's going to be my main watch here this week. As for an actionable level, back over 166.61, which is just this double top on the daily from a resistance support, turn resistance essentially. Over that area, eyeing longs back up into this 173.57 area up here this week. And if we even zoom in on a shorter time frame, trying to put in, if you look at this, we're breaking out of this descending wedge here. So you can see this wedge move essentially. Now we're trying to come in and put in the higher low with some relative strength here on Friday when the NASDAQ was red. This ended up closing green. Again, over 166.61, definitely keeping this one on watch here this week. NVDA, there's two potential setups here on this. First one, to the downside, anything below 123.41, eyeing shorts back down into this area around 118. And if it gets below that, room down into this 114 area. Or the long side thesis is a failed breakdown that just reclaims 126.81 for a move back up into 130 and 131. So if we go into the weekly, that would also correspond with a higher low. You can see clearly the strongest name on the board, strong trend. If this is truly strong off this pullback here, we should see a new weekly buy over this high right here for that continuation move to the upside. And I want to be participating in that trend strength if we do get it. And then the last one, setting up a daily 1, 2, 3, and we're retesting some structure up here. Holds 200 and back over 200.85. I do think we can test back up into this 212 to 213 area from the daily. And a nice weekly chart here, a nice cup formation and breaking out here. Again, back over 200.85. I do think we can test up into this 212.79 to 213 area overhead. And with that being said, that wraps up our watch list video this week. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, if you could please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, it would be greatly appreciated. I want to remind you guys it is a shortened week this week, half day here on Wednesday, and then the market is closed on Thursday in observance of July 4th. Hope you guys all have a great week, and I hope you guys crush it. Thank you.